dysfunctional vet. I was hoping it would come in. It's not doing too good. Let's see if I zoom in a little bit. This is weird. I'm pointed right at the thing and it's not coming in. So let's back this off. We'll walk up there and see what we see. There it is. See that little light in the center of the screen? Let's see if I can find it again. There it is. That itty bitty little light is the solar panel and battery. What it does is it tells me the health of the battery of a solar project I have, which I have not covered, I've not put on film. So in just a moment we're going to click on the lamp. These are bedtime stories. Some of you will be aware of the fact from a previous story that I mentioned that I used to spend as much time as I could in the stacks of a major university, and I read everything. I read about pilots that survived bad takeoffs, pilots that survived bad landings, people that survived AAA, SAMs, just all kinds of malfunctions. One old boy in a helicopter hit some type of a large bird at 180 miles an hour, and he was knocked unconscious, and the co-pilot is the one that landed the aircraft, or flew it back and landed it, and he had severe chest injuries, he had broken jaw, throat injuries, but what saved his life was he was wearing his helmet and his visor was down. And as I say, he hit that bird at about 180 knots. I do not know what kind of aircraft he was in, because the only thing I know for sure that flies 180 knots is a Chinook. I don't think any other helicopter has that kind of speed, but I don't remember exactly what he was in. And one other thing, I learned a great deal about helicopters, especially dynamic roll. And if you're interested in physics, dynamic roll is something you should learn about because it's a really fascinating property. Back when I was in EMT school 100 years ago, I learned about how ambulances become unstable because of a differential of friction between the back tires, normally double tires, and the front tire, which is a single. It's just a surface area and it makes the things want to flip around and fall. I thought it was really fascinating. Got a bug on me I'm trying to get off. All right, let's click the lamp on, let's take a walk, and let's do bedtime stories. All right, this story is believed to be somewhere between 5,000 and 6,000 years old. If it's older than that, I can't speak to that, but I can tell you that it is believed to be at least 5,000 years old. All right, a caravan is crossing the desert at night, and if you've been out in the desert of Southwest Asia, you would understand why they travel at night. It's the only time it's somewhat bearable. So anyway, they're traveling at night, and as they're crossing a dry riverbed, they hear bows being drawn with arrows, and they hear swords being pulled, and they can tell that they're surrounded and they're outnumbered, clearly outnumbered. The voice calls out to them and says, "If you want to live, fill your saddlebags with rocks." And they stand there for a few moments, and the voice calls again to them, says, "If you want to live, fill your saddlebags with rocks. In the morning, you will be both happy and sad." And they're not exactly sure what's going on, but they know that if they do not do something, got some kind of a warning error on my camera, but I don't know what it is. They know that if they don't do something, they're going to get killed, and they figure that the idea of putting rocks in the saddlebags is so that they can be followed and killed in the morning, and if they want to take prisoners or something, they can kind of tell who is there and select who they want to keep. So they fill their saddlebags with rocks, and then the voice yells at them to go as quickly as they can. So they leave. You know, the camels are heavily burdened with rocks, and they take off. Well, in the morning, they continue to travel until it starts to get too hot, and then they set up their camp for the day. Well, the camels are unloaded of their saddles, and the people kind of look around. They don't see any signs of being followed. They set a watch to guard against people coming in, and they go to sleep. Late in the afternoon, as the sun is getting low in the sky and they're getting ready to take off again, it's time to load the saddles, load the camels, and so they open up the saddlebags to get the rocks out of them. And inside the saddlebags are jewels and gold and silver. Everything they picked up is either some kind of a jewel, or it's gold or silver. And the master of the caravan looks at one of his people and says, the prophecy has been fulfilled. It said that we would be both happy and we would be sad. Happy for what we have, and sad that we did not take more. Hope you enjoyed that little story, little bedtime story. Dysfunctional vet. By the way, this is the first rain we've had in about 4 months. It was less than half an inch. Dysfunctional vet, out.